What's up, everybody? My name is Vince. Welcome to the channel. And in this video, I gotta be honest with you. We're gonna be discussing Ridgid, cordless, and power tools. And the reality is that not that many years ago, they seemed to be a favorite here on the YouTube platform and around the channel. People loved the tools, and that has seemed to change. There is so much hate for Ridgid tools. Quite frankly, we can't even publish anything positive about it, about the brand, without being called names or saying that we're not telling the truth, or whatever it may be. And if anybody's been here for a while, you will know that I am the guy that actually visited with Ridgid tools a couple of years back. This is 2 years ago, where we literally met with Ridgid tools, and the title of the video was telling
clear-cut lines,
telling Ridgid executives I don't like their tools. And this is literally in the vestibule of their building.
Milwaukee. Personally, the Ridgid line, I've never been a huge fan. I'm just being honest.
And we were there, told Ridgid Tools we weren't a big fan of their brand. And we went on in that video to show some head-to-head competitions that Ridgid had put on for us. We participated in with brands like DeWalt, head-to-heads. And here's the deal. You watch with your own two eyeballs during those demonstrations. Ridgid won. And the problem is that even after seeing with your own two eyeballs Ridgid win over a brand like DeWalt, it didn't matter to you. There was still so much animosity for the brand. And it almost, at that point, made it feel like that was the beginning of the end for the brand, even though the promise for better and better tools was there. And I ask you, what exactly was the turning point for so many of you that were Ridgid loyalists to literally have an about face? And here's the deal. I have an idea. I'm going to share it with you in a minute. And I'm also going to let you know that if Ridgid doesn't change this, at least this one thing, there's a couple of them, the brand's going to go away. It would not make fiscal sense for the brand, and I'm going to share why. I'm going to preface with this. For a lot of consumers, right, and everybody here knows, I know you're all in the know, but for some of you that are watching that are not part of the Very Cool Gang down in the chat, you might not know that the same brand, that the same company that makes Ridgid tools also makes two other widely known power tool brands. Number one of them is Milwaukee Tool. And of the three, I would say that Milwaukee Tool is the top of the heap. The other brand that is made by the parent company is Ryobi Tools. You would say that Ryobi Tools is the bottom of the heap, so to speak, when it comes to the three power tool lines. Now, here's the deal. Just a few years ago, a lot of you believed that there was, at that point, Milwaukee Tool and Ridgid Tools were sister brands that were both they were contractor grade lines of tools that were competing, that Milwaukee wasn't necessarily over Ridgid, and a matter of fact, there were a lot of things that you liked that Ridgid did better than Milwaukee Tool. That has seemed to change. But before we get deeper into the conversation, I'm going to say hello, because this is a live stream. Say hello to a couple of you. Jay Rivas was first. The Slick Rick is here. Hello, David Feldman. How are you? Wings and Pizza is here. Wow, Wings and Pizza says Flex is the Ridgid nemesis. Ridgid Ron is here. He says, I am in the house. I better watch what I say, because Ron loves Ridgid. What's up, Fire? Thank you for watching during our stream from your vacation. Hello, Max B49. Now, here's the thing. I want to go over a couple of announcements because here's my big thing. Ridgid seems to quietly make these tool announcements, and nobody says anything about them. And the question is that because is it because no one really cares? It seems like no one really cares. And I'm going to kind of talk about that in a second. So hang tight, why people don't care. But hello, Kevin Smith. If there's a bunch of you, or if there's some of you in this chat that feel one way or the other, number one, there is a poll up top. It says, how do you feel about Ridgid power tools? Love them or hate them? We're going to go over the poll in a second. But if there was a switch for you, I want to hear about it in the chat as well as in the comments section. But they've released at least 3 new offerings very recently, and I'm going to talk about maybe this is one of the reasons why no one cares. No one cares. Okay, so let's get to it. Number one to be announced that we're going to go over is they have a new 18-volt brushless hybrid 18-inch drum fan, okay? And a lot of you love the fans. Like, you're big fans of the fans. And this one in particular is battery operated and it's corded. This is what Ridgid says. It says, Ridgid introduces the new 18-volt brushless hybrid 18-inch drum fan, Ridgid's most popular or powerful cordless fan to date. Ridgid's brushless motor technology delivers maximum performance, longer runtime, and extreme motor life. Wow, that's great. This hybrid drum fan delivers 4 times more airflow with up to 4,000 CFM and up to 600 feet per minute, or FPM, with 6 speed settings. It features quiet operation with only 55 decibels on high, delivers up to 15 hours of runtime on low speed. The hybrid feature on the 18-volt brushless hybrid drum fan allows the fan to run on any Ridgid batteries. It says the drum fan, or any standard extension cord to keep the drum fan running longer. Integrated cord storage allows for the including a 6-foot AC extension cord to be stored with ease. In addition to freestanding screw mounting holes provide a versatile hanging option. The 225-degree head rotation allows users to direct airflow in multiple directions. It says, as always, this Ridgid hybrid 18-inch drum fan is 100% compatible with all Ridgid 18-volt batteries. Best of all, this tool is eligible for the industry's best lifetime service agreement. Simply register within 90 days of purchase for free batteries, free parts, free service for life. For life. I feel like I'm watching WCW. I'm watching the Wolfpack. For life. It says it includes the 18-volt brushless hybrid drum. This service plan includes this fan and the cord and all that stuff. So it also goes on to say it's got 4 times more airflow. We went all over those specifications, but you can see the fan in itself, right? I mean, it looks nice. I got a little, to be honest with you, I really didn't hear about this thing until I was going through my email, okay? Because an email came through today, and I'm like, oh, they released another tool. Has there been any other announcements? Like, why would they be releasing a new battery if there's no new tools? And then this new, I went back and checked my emails, and actually this was kind of in there. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. I guess release new batteries for new tools. I didn't even realize you were releasing new tools because nobody's making a big deal out of them, to be totally honest with you. Okay? Jim Arnold with a $10 holler. He says, back in the day, Ridgid was a powerhouse brand for plumbers, pipe fitters, tools. They abandoned their niche. So Jim Arnold, here's the deal, dude. TTI, the brand that makes the power tools, and we appreciate that $10 holler. Thank you very much. They don't own Ridgid. Ridgid still makes tremendous, plumbing tools, pipe wrenches, threaders, things of that nature. They still make all that stuff, and they are still a powerhouse. Widely recognized, They even still make, the vacuum cleaners. But they're not made by, generally, from what I understand, they're not made by TTI. They're actually made by Emerson, who is the parent company for Ridgid. And, Ridgid Ron said, wow, that's great. So I believe they are still a powerhouse. I think that the problem lies in this. There's a couple of key factors which make people believe that they've lost their focus and they don't have their way. I'm gonna talk about that in just a second. But before we do that, I want to say hello to a couple of you. Let's Go Mountaineers says, back with more fire. Love the channel. Love having to go-to content before purchasing tools. I appreciate that, Let's Go Mountaineers. Yo, Mick HVAC's here. What up, Cusbo? Millions and billions is served. Hello, Mick HVAC. Listen, I'm on lunch. I had a few minutes, and I kind of wanted to talk about this. More importantly, I wanted to get your feedback. Like, this isn't, I'm not foreseeing the future. I don't have a crystal ball. I think this is purely my opinion on the brand, right? But I get these opinions, and they're kind of shaped by what I'm seeing from all of you. So I really wanted to do this live stream to kind of get your input as well from about what I almost feel is inevitable if a couple of these things do not change for Ridgid. Woodchuck's here. He says, how you doing, Cusbo? I'm doing well. Max B49 says, does Emerson own the hand tool and vacuum line? Yes, Emerson does. Ridgid Ron says VCG just ordered one. So Ridgid Ron ordered the fan. And Ron, here's the deal. You're in here. Ridgid Ron loves Ridgid, of course, and I'm sure they've served him well over the years. He's actually adding on to his platform. My question is, I wouldn't imagine he doesn't love the brand. But what can you tell the people in the stream about your experience with Ridgid? Have you used their warranty? How did it work out? I almost feel like I should get some clips of Ron and have his experience on if he's used the warranty to make a video about the brand. Because I think, quite frankly, you know me, I love competition. I think the more tool brands, the better. And what I get fearful of is, if we have a tool brand go away, that's just one less competitor. And one less competitor means that the field gets narrowed, and then there's not as much competition. There's not as much innovation. Now, here's the thing. I think that's why kind of Ridgid has stalled, in my opinion. We're going to talk about that in a second. David Krause says, hello, Vince from the soggy South Carolina. Bro, it has been so wet and rainy in Philadelphia. It's constantly, I feel like I live in England. Hello, Howie Z. He's got leftover hamburger helper. Now let's move on, because remember, type at VCG Construction so I could see your comment. Let's move on, because this is, the fan is not the only announcement that's been made. Here's the deal. They've announced a nailer. Okay, you can see that it's actually got it's got a magnesium part of it. The housing is magnesium, schmagnesium. Okay, you can see this fine fellow. No, are you serious? Me again, Dave? Oh, senior. Okay, well, what are you going to do? People make mistakes. How is he? Yeah, because what can you do? You got to keep it real. Always got to keep it real. Me again, Dave just had me a little. It's not like he wouldn't be out for the game anyway, but what are you going to do? People make mistakes. As long as he didn't hurt anybody, hopefully he's learned his lesson. All right. So they've released a new 18-volt brushless 16-gauge straight finish nailer. Okay. And, you know what I'm going to go back to? Give me just a second here. For some of you that are like Ridgid Ron, you'll probably want to know the price on that drum fan. Okay. Number one, the MSRP on the drum fan was $199. And let me see here. It's available at the Home Depot. It doesn't tell me when it would be available exactly. But it is what it is. Now, here's the deal. Let's go back to the finish nailer. I will let you know the price and availability as soon as I get to it. There's two flavors of this. But it says Ridgid introduces the new 18-volt brushless 16-gauge straight finish nailer. Ridgid's brushless motor technology delivers maximum performance and longer runtime, giving this nailer the power to quickly drive 1.25 to 2.5-inch 16-gauge finish nails into hardwoods, 35% faster than the previous model. Ideal for exterior trim, door jambs, crown molding, baseboards, door window trim or casing, and stair treads. This finish nailer is a highly versatile tool capable of driving 1,700 nails per charge. This nailer delivers all-day runtime while being 15% lighter weight and 10% more compact than its predecessor, reduces fatigue during use. It's equipped with clean drive technology. This straight finish nailer drives nails flush at any angle, reduces jams, eliminates MDF trim blowouts if you're using MDF. Come on, man. And doesn't leave driver blade marks on the work surface. It's engineered to increase productivity. You can spend less time fixing, more time working with clean drive technology. The tool-free power adjustment and depth of drive adjustment dials regulate power from optimal results, while the selectable mode switch allows, I gotta make this bigger, I'm going blind, allows contact actuation or single sequential driving. The tool-free jam release makes it easy to clear nails in case of a jam, and the dry fire lockout extends overall motor life and protects the work surface from marring. As always, this Ridgid nailer is part of the lifetime service agreement forever and ever and ever. Now, here's the deal. We went over the high points of the nailer, but here's one. It comes tool only or in a kit. Tool only this nailer is $269. In a kit with a 2 amp hour lithium-ion battery, it is $319. And I got what's up there, John Spitzley? Phantom Zero. Phantom Zero says, and I got to tell you, I have a lot of respect for Phantom Zero. Come a long way over the few years that I've known the Phantom Zero. I'm going to be honest with you. He's got a lot of great work going on, and he does a great job. I see photos of his work over in the Discord. It just is pretty impressive. How easy says, I blame their developer team. Let me see here. Now, how you doing, John Brown? This is the deal. They have this fan. Now they have this nailer. Their pricing seems competitive. What is the problem? What is the problem? That's the question. That is the question. They've even, like I said earlier, come up with a new offering for batteries and chargers. I'm gonna read, because they sent over this product announcement for a new turbocharger for their batteries. Okay. So Tracy Stapleton says, I feel that Ridgid has been getting more expansive over the years. I will not disagree, Tracy Stapleton. I don't think that is the problem. So Ridgid Ron says, I did already order the drum fan. The downside to the new is the size of the finished nails it can use. The old one had a wider range of nails. So we appreciate that feedback, Ridgid Ron. Thank you very much. Here's the deal. It looks like Ridgid even has a fan-cooled charger. It's a 12 amp charger? It's a turbocharger. And this is what they're saying. It says Ridgid's 18-volt 12 amp turbocharger. It says Ridgid introduces the all-new 12 amp turbocharger, the fastest charging solution on Ridgid's 18-volt platform to date. This charger delivers up to 6 times faster charging and is optimized for max output EXP batteries. That is crucial. Max output EXP batteries. The Ridgid 18-volt, 12 amp hour turbo charger charges a 12 amp hour battery in 1 hour, or a 6 amp hour battery in just 30 minutes. The advanced intelligence technology electronics in higher capacity batteries. The advanced intelligent electronics in higher capacity batteries, Ridgid's 6 amp hour, 8 amp hour, and 12 amp hour max output batteries enable the charger to achieve this high speed charging. For increased productivity, this charger features active battery cooling, which utilizes an internal fan to efficiently regulate battery temperature, minimizing downtime, ensuring uninterrupted workflow. The charger's pass-through plug allows optimization of valuable outlet space, while the integrated keyhole slots facilitate easy mounting in shop or on the job site. It's part of the limited lifetime service agreement from Ridgid. Okay, they highlight that. Here's the deal. It's a $129 charger. It's a single bay charger. It is a rapid charger. Okay. And you can see here, there's multiple pictures of it. And their pictures, they're showing their drills. They're showing their outdoor power equipment, which is in desperate need of this charger. Okay. If you are running their outdoor power equipment, you probably need that charger. You can see the outlet. Here's the pass-through technology for the outlets, basically a plug end on their cord end. You can see it's mounted up on the wall. Here's the thing. And just like Tracy Stapleton said, you feel like Ridgid is announcing more and more tools, and I would agree. Here's the problem. How's the warranty? I haven't had to use it yet. Knock on wood. Says cocaine. It's pretty funny. So, hello, Ricardo Cintron. Now, here's the thing. Doug Fowler from Fowler's Custom says, just use the LSA. They were amazing. Replace the tool, no questions asked. And that's great and all. But here's my question. I feel like for a minute there, a couple of years back, when and I'm just going to go back to the days of Octane. And I'm not saying that the Octane tools were any better than these tools. These tools have proven to be there are higher performance tools. The batteries are most likely much better than the Octane tools. You got to remember, I don't own any Octane tools. That was a different channel that owned all and was really fanboying over them. What up, Cletus? But here's the thing. At that moment in time, when they were promoting Octane and Ridgid, they were doing exciting things. And they were putting out pretty bold claims. They looked to be competing with Milwaukee, their big brother, on performance. Here's the deal. And this is one of the problems, I believe. Instead of competing with Milwaukee, and tell me I'm wrong in the chat if you think I'm wrong, but I pretty much think I'm right on this one. Here it is. Instead of competing with Milwaukee on performance at this juncture, in this moment of time, it's like Ridgid is competing with Ryobi, okay, and in one area and one area only, and that is on their warranty. They're literally, instead of competing for performance, okay, and shooting higher, what they're doing is going, okay, you know what? We have all the same tools as our little brother Ryobi. And the reason we can justify charging more money for these Ryobi tools in orange is because we're giving you a lifetime service agreement. Tell me I'm wrong. That is pretty much the difference that I'm seeing. I've literally asked Ridgid. What exactly? Because I think that Ryobi does a pretty good job with the expansiveness of their tool platform and the type of tools that they're releasing, especially on the HP platform. It just is what it is. I think they're doing a great job. And I've asked Ridgid, what exactly is the focus here? Like, I don't understand. Why would anybody buy Ridgid at this point over Ryobi? And their answer was because Ridgid has a lifetime service agreement. Now, you have to ask yourself, do lifetime service agreements really get you excited? I mean, at the end of the day, does that create a buzz? I mean, let's be honest here. Is it good to have a lifetime service agreement? I think that it is. I do. I think it's great. But is that what you really want to base your battery, your coreless platform on? That, okay, we have a lifetime service agreement. I just don't get it. And I think that because there's not enough buzz around Ridgid tools, they will just either go away completely when the numbers aren't there anymore. Because here's the deal. You have a lifetime service agreement. You don't have much buzz going on, okay? And you're releasing tools that either your big brother does better, okay, or your little brother has, but cheaper, okay? The only thing that you're offering is a lifetime service agreement. I think it's inevitable. All you got to do is look at the history of GM cars, okay? With, Buick and Oldsmobile and Chevy and GMC. And, you could only rebadge stuff so much. I mean, you could only rebadge things so much. At some point, people start to catch on. Like, you know what? I'm paying extra money for this Oldsmobile. I could have bought a Buick. It only is going to work so much. My point is that they're going to need to do something to create a little bit more excitement, in my opinion, okay? Because all they're going to do is which I think is great, don't get me wrong, they're going to just continue to support their existing base of users, but eventually that will run out. Eventually it's going to run out. Their existing base of users will eventually, if they're not trying to capture more market share with something exciting, eventually their user base is going to dwindle. Those people are either going to go upstream to Milwaukee Tool or downstream to Ryobi, okay? And you're left with Ridgid. I think it goes away. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong. I'm not seeing any at. LMT says at VCG, plumbing tools is what I love about Ridgid. I will not disagree. Hooters Rocks with a $10 holler. Says, still use my first gen pistol grip hammer drill from time to time. The Octane really makes it come alive, but I do miss the Octane rubber bumper on new batteries. I love that comment. Can I hit like? I can't hit it. Man, I hit a heart. I love that comment. Now, here's the deal. I believe that a turning point for Ridgid was when they discontinued Octane. People were so dismayed by the decision to get rid of, to discontinue Octane, and it became confusing. People didn't even realize, Octane went away. How do I tell the difference between standard Ridgid tools from their best line of tools, which are brushless? Their brushless line of tools is their best line of tools. Okay. Do I think that Ridgid has good tools? I mean, literally, you can watch this video right here when I told Ridgid executives I don't like their tools. You can go and watch this video for yourself. Okay. And I'm going to put this on mute. You can go watch it for yourself where we've done the head-to-heads. I think that they have good tools. I think that they do have good tools. I think that what they're doing though, I think they're going about it in the wrong way. And I think that if they don't, I think that product-wise, they have righted the ship. I think in messaging-wise, they're going to need to do a better job if this brand is going to survive in the power tool segment. Now, I saw a comment down here. Where is it at? Max B49 says, oh, you're not wrong. I thought Max B49 says you are wrong. I thought I was going to get a counter to what I'm saying. And I think that I wouldn't, look, I think we all have opinions. That's why I wanted to do this, because I want to see what your opinion is on the subject. Let me see here. Thebes says, the reason I bought the Ridgid framing nailer is you can use your Milwaukee M18 inflator to top it off when it gets low on pressure or on the cold. Ridgid, add pressure and go. That's pretty cool. I like that. You're not wrong, says Max B49. Ridgid is going to become redundant. And that is the problem. I think that, and it's just a reality, I think that lifetime service agreements are great. The problem is that they're just not sexy, and they're not going to create a buzz. They're just not going to do it. It's just not going to do it. And the large majority, I mean, think about how many times you go to buy electronics or even go to the hardware store and they ask you, do you want to buy the extended service agreement? And you're like, no, I don't. I don't want to buy the extended service agreement. So at that point, you're paying extra money for a Ryobi tool, in my opinion, at some points, or what a Ryobi tool can do just with an added warranty. Why not save the money and just get the Ryobi tool, or go upstream and get a what I believe is at this point a much better tool a much better tool in Milwaukee Tool. Let me see if I can find any other ones that. So Howie Z says Ridgid should be aiming for Hilti. Okay, I won't disagree. I think a lot of brands should be aiming at Hilti right now. I think they're doing a very terrific job with their Neuron platform. Stephen Lee says, oh, wow. Stephen Lee. Oh, my issues with Ridgid. Ouch. First, they're not Ridgid. They're Emerson. The same Emerson that made my first TV as a kid. Second, nor are they AEG, as sold worldwide. AEG is a German engineering company. He writes, third, why don't Ridgid just put Emerson on their tools? Emerson should be proud of being Emerson instead of pretending to be an American company. That's fair enough. Carlos says, if Ryobi continues to release more tools and into specialized tools, then Ridgid is dead, in my opinion. I have a lot of Ryobi 18 volt and 40 volt, and they keep releasing tools. And that's the thing. At the frequency that Ryobi is releasing their tools, how can Ridgid be viable at the? I don't see how it can be. Our employer has supplied Ridgid power tools and impacts for years and never had any problem. Maybe the rubber grips eventually wear off. Use them to anchor Tapcons into concrete and they take abuse. I can appreciate that. I'm not saying that they're bad tools. I am more fearful that the strategy they have adopted in recent years is not going to make it sustainable. Scott Rogers says, try to get Ridgid to honor the lifetime agreement. This seems to lose the paperwork. They seem to lose the paperwork. Sorry, sucker. Okay. Ridgid Ron says, Ridgid Orange is the house brand of Home Depot. They may have been limited by funding for marketing and development by Home Depot. Ridgid Ron, that is a good point. That is a good point. But if I know Home Depot is all about dollars and cents. So if it fiscally doesn't make sense to continue to carry them, would Home Depot actually do it? I mean, look, here's the deal. I almost feel bad because I've met the Ridgid team. They're very nice people. And they're very proud for what they are doing. And I got to tell you, I think that they should be. If you watch this video, you'd see the performance of the tools. I mean, they're doing a pretty doggone good job. The problem is that it's just not going. It's like I believe that on the marketing side, it's just not enough. They need something more catchy. Otherwise, it's going to go away. And I don't want it to go away. I don't. I like more competition. I like more innovation. I like when there's competition to drive down prices. That's me. Let me see here. Nick P says they don't feel quality enough to be at the price point they are at. It makes no sense, says Nick P. Exactly. Ridgid red is great. So, and that's the thing. If you're going to be spending additional money, wouldn't you be going up market to Milwaukee? I don't know. So I kind of feel that. Howie Z, great show. Vince, you have people talking. Here's the thing, bro. I want to bring awareness to what's going on in the marketplace, number one, because I think it's better for all of us. Number two, I really want to get your feedback. And I think that the brands, the more we could get the brands to read the chat and the comments, how you feel about it. If you're already on the Ridgid platform, do you feel served enough? Do you want them to do more? I mean, look, here's the deal. It's kind of, I think it's got to be a little dismaying when you have the little brother of the brands, Ryobi, coming out with tool after tool after tool, okay, and at a more affordable price. Okay, I just think that this is just not sustainable. Hooters Rock says, peace out, VCG. Got to get back to work here at the AT&T Stadium. You're a beast, cuz. Keep it running. You got to keep it running smooth. See ya. So Sihan's painting says, let Milwaukee take the lead. I think Ridgid aims to be more on par with the wall. See, here's the thing. I got to be honest with you. I thought that at first, too, with the direction that they were going. I felt that the wall user more so was used to a larger tool, even in hand, less compact, larger tool. And I thought we saw Ridgid go in that direction. They're not. They've gone compact. It just is. I don't know. I don't know. So let me read the rest of his comment. It says DeWalt. It says, I think Ridgid aims to be more on par with DeWalt. If you wait and watch deals, you can get a good price on almost every tool that they offer. Wish the brand was more exciting. I wish the brand was more exciting too. But the same goes for the sister brands or the brother brands. If you watch Ryobi enough, you can definitely get a great deal there. And Milwaukee, we've proven time and time again that if you wait, and you don't need it right now to complete a job, we'll get you. That's what we do. We get great deals on on all the tool brands, and some of the best tool brands that you'd think you'd never get a deal on. We get them. So my thing is that what does make it exciting? Why would anybody new? That's my question. Yeah, there are some loyalists, but why would anybody walk into Home Depot today? Put it down in the comment section below and in the chat. Why would anybody walk into Home Depot today and choose Ridgid over Ryobi and Milwaukee? Why? And if you tell me the warranty, I think that if that's the main reason, you're going to fall short. Nobody buys the extended warranty. Nobody. Pretty much nobody buys the extended warranty when they buy computers and televisions and tools and like I just don't see it. The large majority of people do not want to put out the additional money. And here's the other thing. During times of economic downturn, when money gets tighter, that's the first expense to go. People are like, I just got to have enough money to buy the tools at this point to hopefully earn a living or hopefully get my DIY project done. I'm going to forego the extra expense of an extended warranty. I just am. That is the first thing to go. So I'm just concerned. Carlos says Ryobi is everywhere at the Home Depot. Listen, leave it down in the comment section below. Do you agree with what I'm saying, or do you disagree? Like, do you think I'm off base here? Can Ridgid stand on a lifetime service agreement? Should that be their marketing ploy? Like, should that be their go-to? I think that they're going to need something a little bit more exciting than that. Just if history is any kind of teacher, okay, you could look at every one of the car companies at this point. Okay, they've all whittled down their brands. Okay, they've all whittled down their offerings. And I've seen it over and over again. You could only rebrand something so many times until people start to catch on that there's no real difference except for maybe a couple of bells and whistles, okay, and the price. It just is what it is. I want to say a special thank you to those of you that have monetarily contributed to the stream today. How do you pull that up? Thank you very much, Jim Arnold, and thank you very much, Hooters Rocks. We appreciate the help of the channel. I also want to say a special thank you to the moderators for being here, helping to keep the chat G-rated, as well as all of the channel members like Ridgid Ron. They help to make this possible. They pay for bandwidth, cameras, computers, equipment. We appreciate all of the channel members. Ridgid Ron actually commented here. It says, at VCG Construction, the price point of Ridgid has been raised since around July of last year. This is now firmly between Ryobi and Milwaukee. This is now, yeah. I mean, listen, you got to pay. You have to pay for that extended warranty somehow. And they've increased the price. And listen, that's why, like, if the warranty is unbelievable, then put it down in the comment section below. We want to hear about your experiences. We want to know also, were you on Ridgid? Did you leave Ridgid for another brand? Are you on another brand and leaving it for Ridgid for their extended warranty? I got to be honest with you. I don't think I would ever find one comment down in the comment section that would say, like, I was on Milwaukee Tool, or I was on Makita, or I was on The Wall. Excuse me. And I left those brands because I wanted a lifetime service agreement. I don't think you'd ever read that comment. I could be wrong, but I would put money on it. I think this to do with Ridgid and their big boy pants on the LSA issue. I'm glad that they fixed it. One positive thing about Ridgid is whoever is the subcontractor that makes the Ridgid line of boxes did an awesome manufacturing of them. Listen, bro, I will tell you this much, and I agree, that Keeter did a terrific job, and that is literally one of my favorite modular tool storage systems. They did a terrific job with that system. So you are 100% correct. Woodchuck says, thanks for the great conversation and the input from everyone. I appreciate that. The uncle says, oh, I forgot. I love my Ridgid store boxes. I think, like, shop vacs and toolboxes, Ridgid kills it. They do a great job. All right, everybody. I hope you had a great lunch. I had a great lunch hanging out with all of you. Listen, put it down in the comment section below. Anything we should chat about in the near future on live stream, you want to hear about it, you want to talk about it, let's make it happen. I appreciate each and every one of you hanging out. And, I want to do this more often. I know some of you are just getting on lunch instead of getting off of lunch, and you're like, oh, I want to see more videos. Go and watch this instead. Wait, let's see here. Maybe they need to pull a Ryobi and change colors. Maybe poop brown. Go watch this video. You're going to love it.